Dear viewers, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to LB24 ChitChat show. I'm Hafsa Noor, your host. Today we'll be discussing about breast cancer. And I have Almona Choudhury here who will be sharing her story, how she survived from breast cancer. Welcome to the show, Almona Choudhury. How are you?
Walaikum salam. I'm great. Thank you very much. And thank you for inviting me, Hafsa. It's great.
It's a pleasure having you here. Almona, if you want to share your side of the story, that how did you find out that you had breast cancer and how did you survive from that?
Yes, I was diagnosed through routine breast screening and the ICE team of the NHS recalled me within 48 hours of that screening.
Right.
And so I didn't quite appreciate that it would be that devastating diagnosis. Because in the blurb they sent you in the letter, they say it's a precautionary measure perhaps. So I went on my own, expecting to just spend a fleeting moment at the hospital. And they were taking some more scans, and the machine broke down, so I had to go back again, once again not thinking that I was going to receive any news about diagnosis. Second time around when I went back, they took some more scans and then they took me to a room and divulged that information. And they helpfully took me to a room where a radiographer was rather than just a mammographer and showed me two scans. One was in 2019 when I last had it and the present one in 2022 and showed me that the fact that the cancer exists and it existed back in 2019.
Right.
But because I have dense breasts and dense breasts are normally the type of breast that young people have where the fibrous tissue is greater than the fatty tissue. It was hiding the cancer cells, so it didn't show through in 2019. So that's how I received the news.
Oh, wow. And how did you react to that?
It was difficult because it was divulged to me by a senior nurse who thought she knew better. And she knew I was on my own. She just told me that I have cancer. I wasn't expecting to hear that. So I was in a state of shock. And she asked me whether I had an oncologist. An oncologist is someone who specializes in cancer. And so I didn't know what an oncologist was back then. So I just simply said no. So she said she's going to go out to get a card from her office room so that I could contact her oncologist.
Okay.
But the way she spoke as if the fact that she'd been diagnosed, that it was okay that I was diagnosed.
Oh.
So anyway, what I did when she left the room is I just took my phone out of my bag and sent text messages to my mother and my partner just to say that I have cancer. I didn't know how else to react. And it was only after leaving that room with the card in my hand that she gave, and I was walking to the car park, that I started to process information. And I realized that I better do some research as to breast cancer because I had not much idea. All I'd been doing is attending the routine breast screening, thinking everything would be hunky-dory.
So how was it detected? So you went through a regular breast screening?
Yes, so when you turn 50 or perhaps slightly later, you receive an automatic invitation from the NHS. As long as you identify yourself as a female. And you receive the invitation until you're 70. And after 70, you can in fact elect to be breast screened. So that's your option.
Okay.
But I always advise being screened, as I was. And if I hadn't been screened...
Then you don't know.
I would have had a very late diagnosis because there would have been signs, obviously, at some stage. But I didn't have any signs. Well, I did, in fact, have signs and symptoms, sorry. In 2019, I actually had gone to the GP surgery with extreme hair loss and exhaustion by 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And also floaters across my eyes, which is always an indication of bad health. And they took a urine sample and hauled me back to the GP surgery the following week and said I had blood in my urine. But they put it down to aging. And I was 57 then, so I accepted that comment. I wasn't happy about it, but I accepted it.
But doesn't that NHS and the doctors especially, they put everything down to your age rather than treating you individually?
Exactly. I mean, GP, by their very nature and qualification, are general practitioners, so they're not necessarily kind of clued up. So education is key, particularly because 1 in 2 of us will be diagnosed with cancer in our lifetime. They need to be really clued up and not patronize women when we go in with our various ailments and put it down to aging or menopause or our period. So there needs to be education. I did put up a review on my GP surgery's website to advise them that they should take heed of a patient's concerns and not put it down to aging. And they have reacted to it and responded to it well.
Well, that's good. I mean, if everybody does that, then at least GP service will be aware of.
Absolutely. I mean, one shouldn't be daunted or intimidated through making a complaint or seeking a second opinion. So I actually went to see the oncologist, by the way, that the senior nurse had referred me to. And
but isn't that their job to refer rather than yourself?
Well, I have to attend the appointment. So I made the appointment and went. And you can appreciate that I wasn't impressed with him at all. He had terrible bedside manners. He looked impatient. So I took my partner with me, and invariably when you're in a state of shock, because I remain in a state of shock until my treatment, he was asking, questions as he would, as one would. And the oncologist seemed impatient, seemed annoyed, and seemed tired.
Oh dear.
And so I thought, my goodness, I don't think that I feel very
He needs to have a rest before he comes to the...
Absolutely. So after the appointment, I went to see his secretary, who was a very nice lady, and she understood entirely my concerns. So she said, I don't blame you. So perhaps the gentleman had a reputation. So always seek a second opinion.
Definitely.
It's very important.
It is quite important. But, many of us, especially from South Asian women or men, when it comes to their health, we ignore our health. Not for any specific reason. We think, okay, family comes first. But with us, we think, okay, this is small cut or small bruise or small thing. But I do it myself as well. Although I have worked with health sector for a while, but still, I'm not different than others. But at the same time, we do need to look after ourselves. It's very important. And you're saying that breast screening, how important do you think is?
It's imperative that you attend all your screening appointments. It's free, of course. We're paying for it through our taxes. And it's majority of diagnosis for breast cancer is discovered through breast screening. So it's very, very important. And I think that we need to be responsible as well. I appreciate what you're saying about us women on the whole, irrespective of where we're from. We are givers, we are nurturers by nature. But unless we take care of ourselves, we shan't be able to take care of our family around us. And since my diagnosis, I in fact have taken a sabbatical from work and am volunteering. So I'm a public health spokesperson, volunteering to give public health talks, I should say, with Breast Cancer Now, an amazing cancer charity. And I'm here and giving other interviews to raise awareness and to emphasize the importance of taking care of ourselves as women. And that exercise is very important, regular exercise. The NHS recommends 150 hours per week. So that can be done on a daily basis of 20 minutes over a 5-day period.
What type of exercise?
Fortunately, you can go for walks, gardening, housework. It's all included. Housework is pretty taxing when you're kind of taking the vacuum cleaner up the stairs and you're bending, stooping, whatever you're doing. So all these do count. Going to the gym do count. So
a lot of people think that, when it comes to exercise, the word exercise, people think, oh, I need to book myself into gym and go to the gym and all that. But it's not necessarily, like you said, you can do your housework and it's the way you do it.
Absolutely. Don't have a cleaner, do it yourself. It's a win-win. You're getting exercise and you're doing it properly in terms of the house cleaning, because I always, when I used to have a cleaner, I used to always clean after the cleaners.
It's obvious.
Or
you have to guide them and stay with them.
Exactly. So just absolutely cut through the chase and do the cleaning. And it's therapeutic as well, I think.
It is.
And
even the gardening.
Gardening is in fact the amazing exercise aspect, and you're in nature, which is important, and being out in the great outdoors. So we need vitamin D. That's another thing I wanted to mention, Hafsa. that we need sunlight, all of us, particularly us with darker skin.
Yeah.
We need vitamin D to a great extent. So spending time in the garden, going for walks is very important. Sitting indoors, in fact, you're not getting the full complement because the glass refracts the sunlight.
Yeah.
So it's always best to go outdoors.
The South Asian people, again, we lack of vitamin D, like you said, because of our skin color. Majority of the people that I meet, a lot of people, they complain that, oh, my GP said I'm lacking on vitamin D. I'm taking the tablets, but that's not good enough because vitamin D tablet is not enough. It's not sufficient enough for you to have exposure of sunlight on your skin.
Yes, I mean, there is the other aspect, Hafsa, that some of our South Asian ladies may be reluctant to go out because there is this historical attitude that the fairer skin that you have, the more beautiful you are.
Yeah.
So we need to kind of allow that kind of thinking, but to modify it, that yes, that may be your opinion, but at the same time, we need the vitamin D through sunlight rather than just pure medication.
Some people, when they go to either in Bangladesh or any warm countries, and when they come back, they become all dark because of the suntan. They go, oh my God, tumi khaloi geso gya, tumi chui geso gya, you know. It's just, then they go, oh my God, I've gone all dark, you know, that kind of hits in. But you need that. And it's good to have that kind of shade of colours in you.
Well, we lose the colour anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
In the wintertime, so it's not a problem. You retain your beautiful
hue. Throughout the winter time.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, it's true. A lot of people, they don't like going out. A lot of people, they can't take the heat of the sun. I myself, I can't take the heat of the sun so much because I get skin burnt.
Yeah.
Rather than tanning myself, I get all this itchy, and it's just recently started, couple of years now.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm driving, my right arm is outside, so I can feel that the sun is hitting through this glass, and I could feel that. So I start itching myself, and
so the importance of wearing suntan lotion for us, factor 50 is important for us too. Even when you're driving, it's very important.
I never used to use it. You know, I'm kind of lazy kind of person. Too much makeup, too much, you know, looking after yourself in that sort of way. I couldn't be bothered. But now I have learned to use it because since I've been using it, it works. Even like a lot of other people, what they do, when they're cooking, they use the suntan lotion, sunscreen lotion, because that kind of protects from the heat, the face, and you know, so many people, they use it while they're cooking at home.
Very good. Makeup contains suntan factor aspect, so it's a win-win.
Yeah.
So very important to you, not just in your face, around your neck, your ears, but also your hands, all the exposed areas, even your ankles if it is exposed.
Okay, never put on my hands, but only foundation on my face probably, and some on my neck. But yeah, it's quite interesting that what you can apply.
Very much so. Yes.
Yeah. Let's go through this percentage of South Asian and Black people, how much they suffer from the breast cancer. You have sent me this information. Almost half, 47% of Black and South Asian women surveyed do not check their breasts regularly for possible signs and symptoms of breast cancer. 70% of Black and South Asian women surveyed have never checked their breasts at all for possible signs and symptoms of breast cancer. When asked what stops or prevents the women surveyed from regular breast checking, a multitude of notable barriers were revealed, including 37% said they are not in the habit of checking their breasts. 30% said they forget to check their breasts. 16% said they don't know how to check their breasts. Minus 13% said they don't feel confident in checking their breasts. And minus 13% said they don't know what to look for.
Yes, I mean, that is a typical story up and down the country, irrespective of background. So it's very important to understand and appreciate what the signs and symptoms are. So it can be a myriad of things. So for me, it was extreme hair loss. It was being exhausted by towards the end of the day,
Right.
and floaters across the eyes, blood in my urine. But other ladies would get discharge, unusual discharge from their nipple. Their
Right.
nipple could be inverted, so rather than pointing out, it goes inwards.
Inwards.
And some women have inverted nipples naturally, and that's
Yeah.
perfectly fine. And there could be a change in the color to the skin or a texture to the skin around the breast area. And it's not just about the physical symptoms, Hafsa. It's also, it could have an emotional impact. So when you're not feeling well, it does affect you psychologically.
Yeah.
So if you're unsure about what you're going through, I would go to your GP and say, would you mind checking my breast, or could you just please do further investigation to find out what the cause of my concerns and ill health are. And the best way to check your breast is, in fact, if I may, Hafsa, is to check around not just your breast area, and this applies to men as well. So 59,000 women in the United Kingdom are diagnosed with breast cancer.
Wow, that's a lot.
400 men are also, because men have some breast tissue. So Breast Cancer Now, an amazing charity, they say that women ought to be breast aware and men body aware. It's a question of semantics, but being body aware is far more, I think, comfortable hearing for the men.
Yeah.
So what men and women should do is kind of use their hand to check around the breast area. This is not something that our kind of culture allows or is acceptable to touch ourselves, but this is to do with health. So if you had an injury to your leg, you would touch your leg. So
Definitely.
just to think of it's an anatomy, part of our body. Touch your breast area, go up to your collarbone. So your breast tissue goes up to your collarbone and under your armpits.
Yeah.
So feel all the way around all this area.
So what do they need to feel for?
Anything unusual. So of course they won't know how it feels until they first start doing it.
Right.
And then when they keep doing, and you ought to be doing it every month, but we all lead busy lives and we'll forget, or we're not inclined to. But whenever you remember to, just when you're in the shower, when you're getting changed, or when you're applying perhaps cream, just feel the area around here, up to your collarbone, under your armpits. And if there's something that you feel that is different, and if you're not sure what it is, or if you lack confidence about doing this kind of self-check, and also you look, so you don't just touch, you look as well to see if there's anything different.
Anything different, yeah.
Just go to the GP to be doubly sure, because it's important that it's detected early. And if it's detected early, it's successful treatment. If you leave it too late.
Many people, they don't want to go because although maybe they feel that their GP is a male, and culturally or even religiously, people, they don't want a man to feel their body, or So what they can they ask for a female doctor or?
Yes, I mean cervical screening. That's something else that one strongly urges women to have. Cervical screening is done by a woman, and similarly, checking the breast can be done by a woman. So you ought to, when you make the appointment, ask for a woman to do that. That's your privilege and your right. And of course, one would feel far more comfortable with a fellow woman doing it. And for men, perhaps asking the male doctor to do that for the man. So it works both ways. Whatever makes you feel comfortable. Please don't hesitate. It's very important. The NHS are there for us, and they want to make sure that we're healthy rather than becoming unwell and needing further intensive treatment.
Yeah. In terms of... like you were saying that screening, smear test, that's another issue that a lot of South Asian women, they don't want to go for because it's not comfortable, first of all. And also when the appointment been sent, a lot of the women, they don't feel, they don't think that it's needed. They're okay. But... isn't that very important for a woman again to...
Yes. I understand why women would be reluctant for breast screening as well as cervical smear test. I understand completely. But it's a question of life and death.
Definitely.
And it's not causing any issue as far as religion is concerned, because the Islamic faith says that you need to take care of your mind, body,
And your soul is all.
Absolutely. And it's a responsible thing to do, particularly as a mother, but particularly as a woman and man, I should say. I shouldn't just restrict.
Because nowadays, like we were discussing about menopause, but men get menopause as well. There is a name for it. I forgot the name. So whatever happens to a woman, the man's getting it as well.
Exactly. So when I speak, I don't mean just women, but men as well. And there's myths and misconceptions as well, and barriers that we need to bust, Hafsa, so that people think that we get cancer through using deodorant or having breast cancer screening, or perhaps it's contagious, which it isn't. It could be genetically related. So if you have cancer in your family and it's quite rife, then
there's a possibility of...
Then you're kind of highlighted to make sure that you go for screening in every respect.
It's like with any condition. If your parents got diabetes or hypertension, then you're likely to get that.
Yes.
You might inherit.
Yes.
So again, for cancer or heart surgery, anything like that, you're possible of getting it. You're more in a risk of getting that than anyone else.
Exactly. Nothing to be frightened of, because majority of breast cancer who are diagnosed live very well, in fact. But it's just late diagnosis that causes the problem. And the other thing that I wanted to mention is that... I forget what I was going to say, Hafsa, can you imagine? Yes, the myths and misconception. It's very important to really break down the barriers.
Yeah.
Yes, as I mentioned earlier, that, or perhaps I haven't, that people feel that if they have a cancer diagnosis in the family, that it would hinder their prospects of marriage, and it affects the extended family or reputation. So we need to speak about cancer in general, to understand that it should be in everyday language, because 1 in 2 of us will be diagnosed with cancer in our lifetime. And why is it categorized as a special disease, a taboo subject, a disease not to be spoken about, to be hidden? Heart disease is spoken about openly.
Yeah.
So cancer is just a disease like any other, and there are far, far more serious diseases than cancer. So we need to make cancer an everyday language.
With South Asian community, I mean, there are a lot of health factors that stays as a taboo. You can't mention this, you can't do this, say to anybody, you've got cancer, you've got heart problem when you are very young. Someone maybe have a hole in their heart, and once that's been treated, they had their treatment, but still they don't mention to the partner to be or to the in-laws to be, because then that might create a problem. So I don't know, people should come up from this
way of thinking, but we must also not be judgmental and understand how our mindset is. Prior to being diagnosed, I used to keep away from those who were diagnosed with cancer because I didn't know what to say. I couldn't relate to it, even though my father was diagnosed with prostate cancer 25 years ago. And we got him treated early. So we took him off the NHS list and had the operation done privately.
Right.
And he lives to this day.
And how old is he? 103 or 104?
Yes, and
he's doing very well.
Still going strong, yes.
Yeah, it's taking good.
And the other thing that I wanted to mention, sorry, Hafsa, is that there is research, and more research needs to be done, that South Asian ladies in particular, in fact, are diagnosed earlier than 50. So we should, in fact, be invited for breast screening earlier than 50. So if there's any symptoms or any signs that you have when you're much younger, and increasingly younger girls and perhaps not so much boys, but younger girls are being, when I say girls, I meant women, are being diagnosed with cancer, breast cancer.
Right.
So
that's quite scary.
It is, but it's to do with our modern lifestyles, perhaps, that's leading to cancer diagnosis, because it's a disease that afflicts white women in the Western world predominantly from affluent backgrounds. Because white women in affluent backgrounds, on the whole, we lead a very unnatural, when I say we, I meant global we, lead unnatural lives that's away from how we ought to. So we're career-driven, and we're kind of chasing that kind of success story. So we don't give to ourselves. So we don't take self-care.
No.
Importantly, we don't do regular exercise.
No.
And the other thing that gets forgotten about is diet. We need to have fresh produce.
Diet is, I think that is the more risk factor, because the processed food that we're intaking, that kind of causes more of this kind of
not
situation.
Just cancer, but any disease.
Any disease, yeah.
So we need to steer clear of ultra-processed foods. And we're all guilty of having some processed food. So if you buy, for example, a partly made pizza from a supermarket, then add to it with your own vegetable and your own cheese.
Yeah.
For example, try to make sandwiches at home. Try not to order takeaways. Try to maybe cook from fresh over the weekend. Whatever you do, think of different colour, different varieties, so fruit and vegetable. And think of South Asian fruit and vegetable. They're the best foodstuffs.
Also, I heard using microwave, that kind of creates cancer as well.
Well, there's very little radiation emitted from microwave, but more importantly, it may be more comfortable using a stove.
Yeah.
I think so. I wouldn't be overly concerned with microwaves. It's a bit like when you have your breast screening, the mammogram. It emits very, very light. Very little radiation. So I wouldn't worry about that. That's not an issue.
No, I mean, it's quite interesting that within the women, more of the women suffering from breast cancer, but when it comes to the male counterparts, they have more of prostate cancer coming up. Lately you could hear more of women having breast cancer, men having prostate cancer. Why this woman or man having this kind of issues?
Yes, well, with men, majority of men who get prostate cancer and even breast cancer are over 60. That's on the whole, the research shows. And with age, naturally we are inclined to having diseases because our immune system slowly but surely kind of is susceptible.
Slows down, yeah.
Yes. So the most important thing to keep healthy is to think of diet. So think of fresh foods, amazing fruit and vegetables from South Asia, the best fruit and vegetables to have, cook from scratch. Try to avoid getting takeaways. Try to make sandwiches at home. And exercise, regular exercise, Hafsa. And the NHS suggests that we do 150 minutes per week. Right. Absolutely follow that. So rather than hopping on the bus all the way to work or even on the train, try to get off the stop early and then walking a little. So start your kind of regular exercise by doing things like that to incorporate into your busy lifestyle. And when you meet with your friends, go for a walk. And how we conduct ourselves, Hafsa, particularly as mothers, we are showing an example to our children.
Definitely.
So we need to set good example. And so the third aspect, which I think is so, so important, particularly for us women, is self-care and self-love, to do things that make us happy, to be with people that make us happy, and to do things we want to do. It's so, so important. We give so much, Hafsa, we need to give back. So if we take care, it's a bit like when you're on a plane, you're advised to put the oxygen mask on you before you put it on your baby.
On your baby,
because if anything happens to you in a split second, you
can't look after your baby either.
Exactly. So don't feel guilty about doing something that you enjoy. Going shopping, perhaps buying an item of clothing that you wouldn't normally think of doing. Anything that brings a smile to your face, it's so important, Hafsa. It's something very basic and very simple, but it is important.
I had a smile to my face yesterday, what I've done. I mean, I thought I won't be able to do this, but I've done it. Like going down the downhill, coming up, that kind of get my adrenaline, and I thought, oh my God, I've done that. I can't imagine. When I went up, I'm looking down and I'm thinking, wow, I went down and I came up, especially in my conditions. So I want advice to everybody to do that unless they're sure of and they feel confident of.
Yes. Well, thank you very much. You did invite me to join, or my mother had me join you for the trip to the Durdle in Dorset. And it was a fantastic trip because we got to know each other.
Yeah,
and yes, very well done. That has kind of broken a little bit of barrier in you because you've had an operation in the heart.
Yeah.
But yes, we need to, and I appreciate that we will be reluctant after having a major operation about going into the gym or perhaps doing exercise. So speaking with someone to guide you, I think, is important.
It is very important. I mean, like I said before we came to the show, that I used to go to gym, I used to go for swimming, I used to go for yoga. But after my operation, I have stopped. The whole reason why I'm sharing this with you, I want our viewers to listen to this carefully. I have stopped, despite I know what I need to do. Still, I lost my confidence. I lost my... I became more emotional, kind of, but yesterday, when I've done that, then I've realized that I have the potential, and I'm quite confident to do things that I want to do. Maybe go back to the gym again, go for swimming again, but take somebody with me. So if there's anything wrong, and when you go to swimming, when you go to gym, there are people there anyway to support you. So I should start, and got me thinking that I should start doing the things that I used to enjoy before. So that is the whole purpose of sharing this on the show, that people do lose confidence, but you need to go back gradually and get involved, and slowly, you'll be better.
Very much so. And also we naturally kind of put on weight as we grow older because we have far more sedentary lifestyle. So exercise helps to keep the weight off. And you feel better and healthier. That's important.
Of course.
As I say, I think we need to be kind of responsible about how we conduct our lives. So giving to yourself is not being selfish. It's not being vain. It's actually helping yourself to help others.
A lot of women think, if I need to look after my family, I need to look after my kids, I need to do everything for them. We don't ask the children or the husband or the partner to do things, and we pile on to our work and take everything on board. And when we go out, maybe one evening, or go away for a couple of days, coming back or being there, feel so guilty that, oh my God, I should be there with my children, I should be there with my family, I have come out with my friends and, enjoying myself. We shouldn't feel guilty because of that reason, because we all deserve some point in our life, some moment, me time.
Absolutely. I don't want to frighten your viewers, but I led that typical life where I was career-driven. And
you were a lawyer before.
Career-driven, so that I didn't think of anything but my career. So I was essentially chasing the money, as it were, and to achieve great heights. And so I didn't have a balanced life, and my diet wasn't bad, but it wasn't as it should be. But there was no self-care and self-love. So I'm a very good example of someone who'd been diagnosed with breast cancer at the age of 57. And so I urge anyone and everyone to not feel guilty and to really take care of themselves, because you want to keep all diseases away. It's not just about cancer. It's diabetes, which afflicts the South Asians in great numbers.
It does.
But also heart disease. And I think it's important that we change our mindset and we have these conversations. And I know the young generation are very different to the other older generations. But even then, they do tend to copycat the older generations.
They do. So
we need to set an example. So mummy going away for the weekend is brilliant news. And of course, our partners and our children suffer and struggle. But mummy comes back happy, and that's good for the family.
Yeah, because she needs to rest herself.
Absolutely.
We have talked about so much about breast cancer and SA Almona Choudhury. What's your next step for breast cancer that you're raising awareness? I know October month is breast cancer month, and I know that you want to raise a lot of start campaign on South Asian families, and so how are you going to go on about doing this?
Yes, as I mentioned, I'm taking a sabbatical from work to raise awareness, but particularly amongst the South Asian and hopefully Black community as well.
Right.
We need to make breast cancer, everyday language, and the more we speak about it, the more it breaks down barriers. So you've kindly invited me to the Bangladesh Centre so we can have a panel discussion. And I'm hoping to receive other invitations from South Asian TV and radio channels to continue these discussions. So I'm passionate about it. And it helps, in fact, it's quite therapeutic for me to discuss my journey. And if my experience can help others, that perhaps someone can relate to what I'm going through, or perhaps it triggers some kind of understanding, then to even save one life, and I don't mean life and death, but early treatment means less invasive procedure, then I feel that I've achieved far, far greater than I would have achieved in anything that I've done in my past life. So I hope to carry on volunteering through breast cancer now to do just that. And I'm enjoying the process, Hafsa. So it's a joy to do what I'm doing.
Yeah. And you'll get reward for that as well, because the more work you do, because I know for a fact you're doing that voluntarily, you're giving your time and effort. So the more work you do, more people benefits from this. So it is a noble work that you're doing. We need to go, but before we go, if you could say something for the our viewers, and then we'll...
Yes. So as I'm kind of specifically speaking about breast cancer awareness, we also have to know that July is the Ethnic Minority Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So hopefully next July I can come back and we can have further discussions. But if I can be quite open, that as women and men, we ought to be, but particularly women, we need to be proud of our breasts and not feel guilty or awkward about self-checking. And also to think of cancer as not a dirty word, not a dangerous word, but a disease like any other. It's very, very important. And that's the message that I want to give, that cancer is an ordinary disease like all other diseases. It needs to be spoken about, and we need to have it treated early. And if we're diagnosed, get treatment and carry on with our lives.
Thank you so much for coming in today and talking about breast cancer. So that was all today. Thank you very much for being with us. And thank you to Almona Choudhury, who shared her side of breast cancer and that she had, and she's a survivor of breast cancer. So thank you, Almona Choudhury, for being with us today. And viewers and listeners, definitely we should take care of ourselves, take care of our health. If there's any form of sign that your skin changed colors, or there's bump and lumps on your breast, or on any part of your upper body, then you should seek advice from the GP. That's all for today. Everyone, take care and see you in the next episode. Allah Hafiz.